Hello, amazing ladies in business. Welcome to the HerStory podcast. I am your host, Kylie King, the founder of Australian Ladies in Business Initiative. And today I am very excited to be joined by the incredible Alana Bai. Now, she is based in Mulgoa, New South Wales, and also runs her business, Alana Marie Holistic Healing. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. It's been a while coming.
It has been. I'm so excited you're here. I think all the planets are in alignment. Everything is settled. The kids are in alignment. So we've been able to make it happen.
Which is a rare occasion for two mums.
Very much so. So let's get started for the listeners. Tell us a bit about yourself and, who you are.
Okay, well, I am a mum of a beautiful little 2.5-year-old who is a wild child. And I am a holistic healer and practitioner on a few different levels of things. So my business is sort of stemmed from initially from just a love of all things holistic and natural in terms of self-healing. And as I went through into motherhood, has transitioned into more of a space for mothers specifically to be able to get through those generational trauma patterns, to really come to a place of regulation themselves. So it gives mums the tools to go all the way from back pain through to badass. So yeah, that's my little bit in a mini spiel.
What are you talking about? All mums have their shit together.
Do they? Because I definitely don't.
No, I would say we're filming this at the start of the Easter weekend, and I'm looking forward to the Easter weekend just for some downtime to try and reassemble some of my shit together.
Yeah, no, there's no ducks in a row here. Ever.
So what made you decide to see that as an opportunity and go, you know what, I can't be the only one doing this. I'm going to start a business and start helping out. Like, what got that started?
So I've had my business as a while focused mainly on massage, and then I added in a whole bunch of other holistic treatments. So prior to motherhood, I'd done a lot of self-work, a lot of healing on myself, thought I was in an amazing place. And then I had a baby. And there were all of these things that I knew, like the losing yourself in motherhood, the self-sacrificing, the not feeling good enough, all of those things that I knew before weren't true, that I'd worked through stories on, suddenly all resurfaced. They came to the top. Like some days I felt like I was absolutely drowning. But I know all of the stuff. Like I've done so much work, but I still myself felt like I was drowning on days. So it came out as there needs to be a space for mums, because it needs to be customized for individuals. It can't just be a one size fits all. Here's your treatment that will fix all of these problems. It doesn't work like that. It's different for every single person that comes in, and lucky for me, I have this massive range of tools that I use with different qualifications that I've got, that I can put together something customized for each mum based on where they're at on any given day. So it's because it's also not a straight line up path in healing. Like it's like waves, and some days you're at rock bottom and other days you're on a high and like you just want to celebrate, and other days you're at the bottom of your levels and you're feeling like a failure, and the last thing you want to do when you're at that level is to go into some deep traumatic healing work. That's like, you can't just go, okay, we've booked in for this hypnotherapy deep dive when you're barely holding it together as it is. It just, you can't do that. So, which for women prior to having children isn't as much of an issue, It still is, but for mums, like that can be a 5-minute sort of switch between those two levels, because our systems are so on edge all the time from having children. Our children are literally designed to put us into dysregulation. Like a baby screaming, our children screaming, literally puts mums, biologically speaking, into fight or flight. So we are constantly in and out of fight or flight every single day. And that needs to be focused on, that needs to be worked with, to give mums tools and safe space to be able to work through whatever is coming up in that moment.
There's so many good points there you've made. So the first one, it's not all a one-size-fits-all plan. Like the amount of, practitioners I've seen out there, business owners out there going, oh, you just follow step 1, 2, 3, and then you're fully healed and you never have another issue in your life again. It's absolutely perfect. Never happens that way. And it is very tailored because, as you mentioned, everyone's on their own unique journey. Everyone's getting dysregulated in different ways. Everyone's experiencing different things. So no way should it be you take step 1, 2, and 3 and then you're fully done. It's nothing like that. And I think a lot of, not just in regards to the healing journey, but other journeys or other healing we go through, it's not all, as you mentioned, linear. It's not going to be just like you go from here to here and there's no obstacles in the way, there's no bumps in the way, because during that journey, you don't realize that something you thought was tiny, and then once you pick at it, and then it becomes like this big gaping hole of like, holy crap, there was a lot more there than I thought there was from this little tiny, thing, bump. Maybe, that tiniest little blackhead, and then you open it up and it's like a really bad pimple. Like, you don't realize. So I think that's important as a practitioner to offer it. And as you got this amazing bag of tools. So what are some of those tools that are in your bag? You mentioned a bit of hypno and massage. Is there any other tools in your bag?
Yeah, so I have qualifications in quantum energy healing, meditation, breath work, massage, hypnotherapy. I don't remember if I've mentioned life coaching. And one that's really unusual that most people haven't heard of is Dane Chen multi-reflexology. So yeah, that's all of my certificate qualifications plus a few bits. Oh, and color image consulting, because let's throw some empowerment and embodiment stuff in there too. But yeah, I'm actually in the process of completing a color therapy course to sort of go in line with that as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. So all these beautiful tools that at any time can be pulled out to help a mum or someone else on their healing journey, which I think is so important. And the other part you mentioned is about children being designed, I guess, in a way to dysregulate. Well, you mentioned the crying. I've talked about children previously on this podcast as being the best way to learn customer service. Because if you give that kid the wrong cup, they're telling you about it. And they're going to remember and they're going to nag. And like my 10-year-old will tell me something I did wrong when she was 5. And I have to, so I always talk about how they're good for customer service, but that dysregulation you mentioned, because I know driving, if my kid starts screaming in a car, I can't focus. I have to pull over and I have to stop that from happening. And for a long time, I thought it was because I was breastfeeding and it would just make me like let down. But now that you've mentioned, no, it is designed to put us into fight and flight mode. That's made me look at it a whole different way.
Yeah, well, it's ancestrally, biologically speaking, that's literally how it's designed in the event of, in terms of like caveman-y sort of times. And it's just stayed with us all the way through. It's literally our children crying, screaming, fighting tells us on a subconscious level that our children are in danger and we need to act on it. So it's literally them doing all the crazy stuff makes us go, we need to save the children. we need to grab the children and run away from the lion that's attacking us. Like, it's literally a biological instant reaction that we have absolutely zero control over most of the time.
Half the time it's not because there's a predator, it's because their sisters pissed them off, or their brother pissed them off, or something's happened. It's that red cup instead of the blue cup.
Yeah. But our bodies don't understand the difference between that. On a conscious level we do, but our body's automatic, intuitive, instinctual processes don't. So it's that the automatic response on the internal and the lower levels in our body, where we feel the heart rate increase, where we feel the butterflies in the stomach, etc., in that oh shit sort of a where our brain just switches off. It's because literally the blood flow has gone away from all of the insides and out into the limbs. Like, it's literally pumping us ready to go and fight for our children's lives, when in fact we're literally going to be fighting our children.
Yes. Or we're just throwing all the cups in the bin and we now drink with our hands.
That works too.
So you mentioned you take your clients, was it from breakdown to badass? That is the journey? Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would you say, when do you know you're sort of in breakdown mode where we need to come and seek help to come and see you? What would there be, like a symptom? Would there be something? Or would it be when we want to just drink with our hands? Yes, drinking with our hands would definitely be a sign.
Essentially, like that pre-burnout is when you realize that you're burning the candle at both ends. You're constantly feeling on edge, you're snapping, that I don't feel myself feeling, the going through the motions and that sort of thing, and being able to function and do all of the things that we need to get done. But then at the end of the day, when someone, this is an example I love, someone asks you, hey, what do you want to do for dinner? Or hey, what do you want for dinner? Or what movie do you want to watch tonight? And we just go completely blank. It's like, because it's literally, one, it's another decision, and two, it's someone putting us on the spot, having to decide something for us. And it's literally so far out of our realm of what we're able to do because our nervous system has just been so overloaded. And that's the point where it's like, oh, like, yeah, no, I need something. It's like, I remember when I had Connell and we got to the first Christmas with him, and at like 4 months, my partner's sister asked me, like, because she'd only known me for a little while, asked me, oh, what do you like? Like, so I can get you something personal for Christmas. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I had no concept of what I was even interested in to tell somebody who was looking to get me a present for Christmas. And it was like, oh, I am so far in that, like, that rabbit hole of motherhood. And don't get me wrong, I love being a mum, but it comes with so much weight emotionally and mentally, that we literally just, our nervous system shut off. And yeah, so when you realize that you're having those moments, that's when you know you need something. You need help then. And most of us struggle with asking for it.
Very much so. I think a lot of us, you know, when you have to ask for help and say, hey, it's there, people see it as a sign of weakness. But then if we look back, and we've talked about ancestry, you know, like how the child's cry is to set us off. Well, back in ancestry, you know, we had tribes where we would help each other raise our children. We would be in groups. We would do all of that. So we still have a lot of things that our bodies are tuned to from that. But now it's like, if we ask for help, well, we're, you know, mum guilt, or we're a shit mum, or there's, you know, what do you mean you can't handle the children? Why did you have these children if you just couldn't handle them? You chose to do that. And those sort of things come up. But we've always been, well, not in the modern age, but we've always been there to help and support each other. So yeah, a lot of people don't ask for help.
Well, a lot of that has come, like, yes, we've lost the tribe sort of thing. We don't have that as much. You do see that starting to come back in small ways in terms of mums groups. There's little gatherings where the kids and the mums come together. But a lot of that, those patterns that we see in terms of the not asking for help, the not feeling like enough, the mum guilt, the feeling like a failure if we have to ask for help, the hyper independence, a lot of that has come from our childhood. It's come from seeing our parents raise us and the way that they have done what they've done, because that's what they knew, has ingrained patterns in us where asking for help means that we're failing, where if we're not ticking those boxes, if we're not adding the value, then we're not good enough. So a lot of those patterns are ingrained in us from our childhood experiences, and a lot of our choices that we make in that process come from that without us even being aware of it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So thanks, Mum and Dad. Well, actually, I would also say then thanks to the grandparents, because it goes back. Because also it's just that generational stuff, right? Because your parents are only as good as what they learnt from their parents. So thanks, Grandma and Grandpa.
Yep.
And then just keep going down the line.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's I think the thing is each generation learns something different, and it's along the way we always try to do better than what we were given. It's automatic. It's what we do. We try to do better than what we experienced. We always want better for our children. Or I hope we do. But
if you don't, like, that's where you're at breakdown and you need to come.
Yeah, then you definitely need to come in. But yeah, no, it's I always, because you can go down this mindset of they did so wrong by me, how dare they, how could they do that, I couldn't do that to my child. But and that's I think a really important thing is that in this sort of work where we're dealing with those traumas, you actually need to come at that with a place of understanding and love, that what they did was what they thought was best, and it's that they did things that they had been programmed and trained to do from the generation before. And each generation, not just the direct patterns that they live in within their family relationship, it's also influenced by what's happening in the world around them as well. You've got the people, our grandparents and whatnot, that went through the Depression, where it was, everything was scarcity, everything was precious, everything was about what you could give. And then you've got our parents that have come out of that, where it's, you've got so much more, you need to do something with it. And it's each generation has cultural patterns that they've been ingrained based on what's happening in the world. And then you've got sort of our age group that's dealt with terrorism and and COVID and financial crisis. yeah. We've got
dealt with.
Exactly. And now we're sort of on the edge going, we can't pass those things on. That's not what we want to give to our children. That's not the mindset we want to pass on. That's not the experience that we want them to live from. So there's a lot of us that are now trying to do better, and that we're trying to clear those stories, those patterns that we've grown up with, so that our children can come from their own sort of blank slate instead of what we're passing them. So, yeah.
Beautiful. So that sounds like so much on the plate of women. Just in that one sentence, you in this, what you've just shared, you've just added so much, mental load, or at the moment I've been saying the word capacity a lot. I am at my capacity. There's only so much I can do. I'm, when new opportunities come up, I'm at my capacity. It's not gonna happen. And I did hear a reference somewhere once that said, there's lots of balls in the air. Just try not to drop the glass ones, like the rubber balls can bounce. So I think if it does get to that point where you feel like all the plates you're spinning are breaking, everything's falling around, or you just feel, I guess, like a mumby, I'd say like a zombie mum, which I was feeling earlier this week. Like if you're feeling like a mumby and you want to feel like a MILF, or you want to feel like a badass, then you need to go over and check out what Alana's doing, because you're not here and you didn't have kids. Well, as we mentioned, I hope you didn't have kids to be a mumby or to be in breakdown. And there are people out there that are willing to help, or at least give you some of the tools that they've learnt in their toolbox to assist the process. So as a businesswoman and running this business now, what would you say so far has been your personal challenges or your business challenges?
My business challenges, balancing all and juggling all the balls, essentially. Like, I'm a practitioner that focuses on nervous system regulation and empowerment, and some days I am like losing my absolute shit. And that's the thing, is the it's honoring the oh my god, I'm so tired, I can't do this right now feeling, and trying to do that without guilt. Because sometimes you need rest. But you're also running a business that relies on you being in it. Because there's no one paying you sick leave or annual leave or anything like that if you don't turn up. It's the balancing the mum, the child screaming and wanting attention with the needing to get the social media and the website and all the things done. That's, I think, been the big struggle for me, is because, so I'm also, I'm basically a stay-at-home mum as well to a 2.5-year-old. So I'm not sending him to daycare. My intention is to homeschool in a couple of years, and it's making sure he has a rich life without burning myself out, and while still keeping my business running as well. So it's, and I think the other challenge is getting the consistent income to keep being there, because I will have really good weeks and then the next week it'll be nothing for like 2-3 weeks. And it's just people cancelling or rescheduling, or literally just the world's on fire and people are like, I'm panicking. And it's, and that's the
millennials gone through.
Yeah. But it's I think challenge wise, I think that's the thing. It's the balance and the consistency in the literal, the monetary thing. Like, and I've had people say who don't necessarily understand the work that goes in and the amount of training that's involved. I've had people say, oh, stuff like that should be available to everybody for free. And there's this sort of level of expectation when you're dealing with a healing space that you're a person that will give it away. And as much as I have that compassionate being that would like to give that away and go, is, you know what, you're having a really hard time, I'd love to help you. But I also value the work that I've put in and the amount of time and effort. And it's those things where there's an expectation that the work should be given away for free because it's helping people. And I've had people literally say this to me. I'll let my doctors and pharmacists know that.
I'll let my doctors and pharmacists and dentists know that, because they're helping people. But also that, like you mentioned time, but also in the industry that you're mentioning, in the healing industry. So I'm in the healing industry because when I'm not doing ALIBI, I'm mostly hypnotherapist and mindset stuff. That's who I work with and what I play with. And sound. I do a lot of sound now. But we're certified. I know you're certified and I'm certified. And I think that's something really important that a lot of people don't realize is we paid to take on those classes. and so we could get certified. And it's not just so we can hang a shiny certificate on our wall, but we do these things so we have proper insurance, which is important. You want someone to insure. So if something happens and that breakdown becomes a very bad breakdown or something needs to happen, we're insured for that if something was to happen. We do that to make sure that we're trained in what is happening what is working at the moment. And also not just that, but what if something goes bad, what we can do as practitioners to either stop that from happening, other tools we can use, or that you've got someone with experience and in training that knows what they're doing. And I think people need to realize that, yes, the healing industry, we all want to help everyone for free. That's amazing in this utopia that we're creating. But for now, the energy exchange is money, really. And we need to get paid for our time because we do get qualifications. And I know that there's a lot of people in our industry that aren't qualified and that don't have insurances, which is a thing that shits me because I think you should just be protected. And the practitioners you're going to is just need to be protected. But also there's a lot of people out there that are doing things that have no experience or no training. And I know that you've probably got very similar experiences, but I'm just going to mention one briefly with mine. I had a client come to me who told me that she believed she was sexually abused as a child because her last practitioner told her she was. So she had then taken that on board and started to have made it a part of her identity. It became a belief system for her, and it was then in her unconscious mind. And she kept saying, I can't remember it, but I was told it, so it must be true because my last practitioner, through hypnosis and deep diving and doing the work, we were able to find it was a story that it was implanted. Going back and looking at the practitioner had no certifications, was not trained, and had seen a YouTube video and thought it would be a really cool thing to do while charging a premium to the client, who then had to do more work to undo the story that was implanted in their head. So whatever everyone's belief is, yes, I think you need to get what you pay for, and you pay for someone, but also make sure you're looking for people with certifications and insurances, because there are a lot of people out there that think, oh, it is a fun way, quick way to make money. I'm going to now say I'm this type of healer, and then they don't have the proper things that would need to back them up in case stuff went down. Like if that client turned around and decided to sue that practitioner, which up to them, not with anything to do with me, that practitioner is not insured. So anyway, I'll stop off my vent box, but that I am super, yeah.
Yeah, and look, I think we've mentioned bits and pieces about this before. Like there's so much in terms of especially with the hypnotherapy, which obviously we're both practitioners in. It's literally you can implant anything, and it's literally just a matter of it can be just a matter of saying the wrong word. Like when you're in the hypnotherapy session, one of the big things is you only say what they've said to you. Like you don't say anything else, because that is like a instant take that on, because that's where they're at in that place. Like, not saying that she did that accidentally, because that seems like a little bit of a hard one to slip in with a little word. Like,
well, also, just you stick to positivity as much as you can. Everything you change, there is no negative strip. Any word that could be even conveyed, like not even us, but they could interpret as negative, it doesn't come out of your mouth. So I don't think how you could think that could ever be in a positive light. So it should just not have come out of her mouth, in all honesty.
No, probably not. No, but yeah, no. It's one of those things. There's a lot of ethics and morals involved in or there should be a lot of ethics and morals involved in that holistic healing space. And we have paid a lot of money in courses, in insurances, in ongoing training, in our toolkit physically, in our tools, our environment that we create. Like, all of this we've put in a lot of effort, time, thought, consideration, and a lot of big one, energy has gone into the work that we do. And even the ability to go into a single treatment and hold space for another human being who might bring up a traumatic experience, who might just be completely frazzled, whose emotions might have been buried and suddenly they can feel them. To hold space for that without involving ourselves in it should be massively valued. It takes a lot of energy just to hold that space and to hold ourselves separate from someone that we're actually really connected to in that moment, but to hold us as a safe space for that client. That takes a massive amount out of us every day.
Yes. And as you mentioned, not even, there's so much we could go into, and I think we're going to need to have you back on another episode to go into it.
Happy to be here.
There is so much stuff and so many things going on, and I think it also happens, like, I don't like when the government comes in and gets stuff regulated. I'm not a fan of it, but I think there needs to be a consistent standard or a benchmark that I think really needs to come into this industry. And as I said, I don't want the government to come and put their fingers on it, but I also think when you are looking for a practitioner, use your discernment, and you need to look. And if it doesn't feel right, just don't go with it, because everyone thinks it feels right. And if you go there and you get the ick, then get out. But with anything, use discernment with using it. Now, back to you. We've got your challenges, which I love someone who's just open about, like, yeah, shit gets real and I'm dealing with it and I overcome it every day. Because for clients, you don't want someone who's been unicorn and rainbows. You want someone who's been in the trenches and they've gotten out of it, and they can then help lead you, that light in the darkness. If I follow the path, maybe I'll get out semi-unscathed is the plan. So what would you say has been your biggest achievement in business so far?
My biggest achievement would probably be one that I'm still here. Yeah. I'm here, and my business has evolved and been reborn over the last few years. Like, I started out as a massage therapist, and I'd taken the title of I'm a holistic healer. Like, I think when I put it into ChatGPT at one stage, trying to explain everything to do, they're like, you are the voice of embodiment and healing. I'm like, okay. So body-led healing and soul embodiment was, and I'm like, cool, I love that. But it's the changes and the riding the waves that have come along with that. I actually, when I first started out doing direct selling and did that, and then started just as massage. And then I actually shut my business down and worked under somebody else's business, and gave away a lot of my energy and time and money for free in that space. And then when I had my son, that space was no longer available because I hadn't been working in it. So I actually had to restart my business essentially from scratch. And I started with the massage, and then I added on more trainings, and like I've built the business from the ground up. Like, there are only a couple of clients that I have had from back when I first started training that have come through with me. I'm very lucky. I have some very loyal clients, which who I love. But that process is, I've had to essentially relaunch and restart from the bottom a couple of times over in that process. And I'm still here. And I think I finished my massage course. I did my massage course something like 14 odd years ago now. So it's like I've been doing the work for a while. And it's the fact that I'm still doing it. Even from a massage perspective, the rate of burnout in just massage therapists is massive. Like, most massage therapists burn out in terms of physical injury or lack of clients, etc. They burn out in the first 2 years. And I've been around for 14, so that's an achievement in itself. Which and look, I'm still here. My business is still growing. Like I've got I'm doing, that's actually, there you go, there's a really exciting achievement. I have booked my first ever retreat that I'm leading for the end of this year, so I'm super excited for that. But yeah,
Well, make sure you give us the link and I'll pop it down below, so if anyone's in need for a retreat we can check it all out. So what
Will do.
is your achievement? Is you've been here 14 years smashing on, which is awesome, because not only most massage therapists but most businesses struggle to get past 3 years, and you've had to rebuild, and keep rising. So what would you say, if you're willing to share, is your big hairy scary goal for your business moving forward?
oh, my big hairy scary goal. Like, in all honesty, I think my big scary goal at the moment is to set up regular big retreats. It's to move from, actually, you know what, if we want to go really, really big end goal, I want my own retreat space. I want a space this is the big really, like, one where, in all honesty, there's probably a lot of doubt as to whether it'll ever happen, especially with the current financial, like, space on buying property. But
Yes.
like, to have my own retreat space where people can come, they can have their sessions, they can stay for a few days or a couple of weeks, whatever is needed for them at whatever stage they're at, where they can get the treatments, where they can really embody the different levels, the practices that they can experience with me, and to have that space where it's held and available, not just like 4 days a year when I've booked a retreat. That would be the big, hairy, scary end goal.
I love that. I think a retreat space would be great. And when you get the retreat space, can you make like a really big dome and I can come and do sound there?
Oh, 100%. Like, the intention will be, like, obviously it'll be available for other practitioners to come and use as a retreat space as well. But yeah, no, I would absolutely, that's the dream, essentially, is to have that space where people can come at whatever stage they're at and they can experience whatever they need at that moment. Because, and let's be honest, especially as mums, we don't always know what that is.
Very right. We know there's something, but we need to come across it, or it needs to be the right time, or we have to have the right nudge. So.
Yep. Or we need someone that does intuitive body-led healing and uses hypnotherapy to ask the body what it needs.
Exactly. If only I knew where to find that person. So do you and I want to mention, you are out in Mulgoa, New South Wales, but you do your sessions online, right? People can contact you online as well.
Yeah, so I can do some of my sessions online. Obviously, a lot of the in-person bodywork stuff is not able to be done online, but the breath work, the hypnotherapy, the meditation stuff, even a little bit of the intuitive body-led healing. So I can do that online in terms of giving you the information and the access into your body. And I can do the energy healing and the breath work through that session, but obviously I can't do any massage or anything like that.
Beautiful. So how do we stalk you? Where do we find you?
At my website, which is alanamarieholistichealing.com.au. So very easy. It's just my business name with a .com.au.
Beautiful. I will pop all those links below. And before we go, just a final thought. Is there any tip you'd like to share with the listeners? Like a taste tester or a sneak peek, so then they're going to want to go over to your website and stalk you?
Oh, a tip. I think my biggest tip, I think, is just honoring where you're at. It's, you don't have to be up there. You don't have to be one of those like cookie cutter fancy mums where they're making everything in the kitchen online, and like that's not real. But also to knowing that it's okay not to be that amazing, super presentable, like, I'm trying to think of the word, Pleasantville, if you've ever seen the old movie Pleasantville, where it's like,
Oh yeah, like the Stepford Wives or whatever. Like they were
yes,
very
that's
much...
the
Yes.
yeah. You don't have to be perfect all the time. You don't have to be where somebody else is at. If someone says, oh, I've actually just been doing this, that doesn't have to be right for you. It's, you need to follow what is going to light you up, what is going to heal your soul, and that you need to embody your true authentic self, not what somebody else has told you to be, not what you've been trained to be. It's being what you need to be at any given moment, and that is okay. So there you go. That's my little tip.
Love that tip. And what a beautiful way. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I'll pop everything below. So if you want to stalk Alana, you can stalk her, and I'm sure you'll be able to find her in the Australian Ladies in Business Facebook group as well. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much, Kylie. It's been a joy.